Seeing little kids dressed up as Snow White makes me sob my eyes out.
Oh.
I can't, like, I go to the parks and I'm like... and
she just cries.
I do, and my best friend is like, are you good? And I'm like, I had no idea what I was auditioning for when I auditioned. So it's a kind of a hilarious question to say, like, what drew you to the material? Is that, like, I didn't realize that I was reading lines with Dopey.
Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the only channel where we deliver the stories that no one else dares to cover. While everyone else is busy recycling the same stories, we're here to give you the raw, unfiltered truth. Today, we're diving into the controversial story of Rachel Zegler, the Hollywood starlet who went from Disney's Golden Girl to being blacklisted. But what caused this fall from grace? And why are big names like Joe Rogan, Jennifer Lawrence, and Chris Hemsworth weighing in on the drama? Rachel Zegler's Hollywood journey began like a dream. She went from filming covers in her bedroom to landing the lead role in Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. Her performance was nothing short of extraordinary. Critics praised her talent, fans adored her, and Hollywood opened its doors wide. Then came Disney's live-action Snow White. Rachel was chosen to portray one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history. It was supposed to be her defining moment, a chance to solidify her place as a household name. But things took a sharp turn. In interviews, Rachel didn't hold back her opinions about Snow White. She called the original film outdated, criticized the damsel in distress trope, and hinted at drastic changes to the story. Fans weren't happy. Social media erupted with hashtags like #boycott Snow White and #fire Zegler. Critics accused her of disrespecting Disney's legacy, and before long, Rachel found herself at the center of a heated debate. The rising star had become a lightning rod for controversy. Joe Rogan also shared his thoughts on the controversy during his podcast, delivering a characteristically blunt and straightforward take. This whole Rachel Zegler thing is ridiculous. Here's someone who's insanely talented, and she's being crucified for having an opinion. Hollywood pretends to value authenticity, but the second someone steps out of line, they're punished for it. It's hypocritical. Rogan also took aim at Disney, accusing the studio of using Rachel as a scapegoat. Disney's whole brand is built on nostalgia. They sell you this idea of childhood magic, but when someone challenges that, they panic. Rachel wasn't the problem. Disney's inability to handle backlash was. They threw her under the bus to save their own image. It's pathetic. Rogan's comments struck a chord with many fans who saw Rachel as a victim of Hollywood's double standards. Jennifer Lawrence also addressed the backlash in a recent interview, offering a brutally honest perspective. "I've been in Rachel's shoes. Hollywood has a way of labeling young women as difficult when they speak their mind. It's like they want us to be these perfect little puppets." Rachel made some bold statements, sure, but she's not wrong for wanting to update outdated stories. The backlash she's facing is completely overblown. I mean, are we really punishing someone for wanting to modernize a story from the 1930s? Chris Hemsworth added his voice to the discussion, sharing his honest opinion on the situation surrounding Rachel. Rachel Zegler is incredibly talented, but Hollywood doesn't always reward honesty. Studios like Disney want their stars to stick to the script, and when someone steps out of line, they're labeled a problem. Rachel's comments might have been controversial, but they sparked a conversation. Isn't that what storytelling is all about? It's clear that Rachel's story has divided Hollywood. While some stars support her, others have remained conspicuously silent. Now, let's talk about the role of social media in all this. Rachel's comments didn't just cause a backlash, they became a viral firestorm. Within hours of her interviews, hashtags like #boycott Snow White started trending. Memes mocking her statements flooded platforms like Twitter and Instagram. Every word she said was dissected, twisted, and turned into fuel for the outrage machine. And it didn't stop there. Even when Rachel tried to clarify her intentions, it only seemed to add more fuel to the fire. Social media doesn't just amplify controversy, it magnifies it, drags it out, and makes it impossible to move on. Rachel's experience is a harsh reminder of how quickly the internet can turn on someone, and how hard it is to recover once the damage is done. What about Disney? How did the studio respond to the backlash? Well, instead of standing by Rachel, Disney chose silence, and that silence spoke volumes. Rachel's presence in promotional material was noticeably reduced. Interviews featuring her were scaled back, and it seemed like the studio was trying to distance itself from the controversy entirely. But here's the thing, by staying quiet, Disney didn't just fail Rachel, they failed their fans. Instead of addressing the controversy head-on, they left everyone guessing. Was Rachel a scapegoat? Was the backlash justified? The studio's refusal to clarify only made things worse. In trying to protect their brand, Disney ended up alienating the very audience they were trying to appease. Rachel's story isn't just about Disney, it's about Hollywood as a whole. The industry loves to claim it's all about progress and embracing new ideas, but the reality? It's a machine. A machine that rewards compliance and punishes those who step out of line. Rachel Zegler stepped out of line. She spoke her truth about Snow White, and the industry didn't know how to handle it. Instead of supporting her, they turned her into the problem. Hollywood doesn't like disruptors. It likes stars who follow the rules, both on screen and off. But here's the thing, without disruptors, nothing changes. Rachel's situation highlights the gap between Hollywood's progressive messaging and its deeply entrenched power dynamics. So how did Rachel respond to all this? Did she back down? Apologize? Not even close. In a bold move, Rachel took to social media and doubled down on her comments. She posted, "I stand by what I said. Stories need to evolve, and if speaking my truth means losing opportunities, so be it. Change doesn't happen by staying silent." That's a strong statement, one that sparked even more debate. Some fans praised her for sticking to her principles, calling her a role model for speaking up. Others, however, felt her words were adding fuel to the fire. Regardless of where you stand, one thing's clear. Rachel isn't backing down, even if it costs her career. With Disney distancing itself and traditional Hollywood seeming out of reach, where does Rachel go from here? The answer might lie in streaming platforms and independent films. Streaming giants like Netflix and Amazon have been known to embrace bold, outspoken talent. They thrive on controversy and often give creators more freedom to express themselves. For Rachel, this could be an opportunity to rebuild her career on her own terms. And let's not forget independent films. Many actors who faced backlash from mainstream Hollywood have found success in the indie scene. These projects are often more experimental, more daring, and most importantly, free from the constraints of studio politics. Rachel's future may not look like the fairy tale Hollywood promised, but it could still be something remarkable. Let's address the elephant in the room: woke culture. Rachel Zegler has become a symbol in a much larger debate about Hollywood's direction. On one side, you have people arguing that Hollywood is too focused on social messaging, losing sight of what made their stories timeless. On the other, you have those who believe modernization is essential to keep these stories relevant for new generations. Rachel's comments about Snow White hit right at the heart of this debate. Was she trying to ruin a classic, or was she simply advocating for progress? This isn't just about one actress or one movie. It's about the future of storytelling. Can Hollywood evolve without alienating its audience? Or are we doomed to keep having the same fights over and over again? So what's next for Rachel Zegler? Is she really blacklisted, or is this just a bump in the road? If history has taught us anything, it's that Hollywood loves a redemption story. Stars like Brendan Fraser and Megan Fox were once cast aside only to make triumphant comebacks. Rachel could follow in their footsteps if she plays her cards right. Her talent is undeniable. What she needs now is the right project, something that reminds people why she was a rising star in the first place. Whether it's an indie film, a streaming series, or even a surprise return to the big screen, Rachel's story is far from over. Rachel Zegler's story isn't just a cautionary tale for actors, it's a wake-up call for Hollywood. The industry can't keep pretending to champion progress while silencing those who speak out. This cycle of building stars up, only to tear them down the moment they challenge the status quo, has to stop. Even Robert Downey Jr., who knows a thing or two about Hollywood comebacks, weighed in on the situation. Hollywood is a tough place, and Rachel's story is a reminder of how unforgiving it can be. But it's also a place where resilience and talent can shine through. The industry needs to figure out how to support its talent instead of throwing them under the bus the moment things get complicated. The backlash against Rachel Zegler isn't just about one actress or one movie. It's about an industry that's overdue for change. If Hollywood truly wants to modernize its stories and embrace new perspectives, it needs to start with how it treats the people brave enough to speak their minds. But what do you think? Is Rachel Zegler being unfairly blacklisted, or did her comments cross a line? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're tired of the same recycled stories, hit that subscribe button. This is Nick, signing off. Until next time.